Hello students, welcome to my channel Edu Knowledge Hub. This is Soumya Das, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, Bengal School of Technology, Sugandha, Hooghly. And today I have come up with the topic that is schizophrenia, which I have taken from the subject Hospital and Clinical Pharmacy. It is helpful for the students who are studying the Diploma, B Pharm or PharmD courses. And in this video, I will be describing about the pathophysiology and the management of the schizophrenia. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel, that is Edu Knowledge Hub. So before beginning the topic, let us see that what are the learning outcomes I expect that my students will understand after listening or after viewing this video. First, I want to make you understand the concept of the schizophrenia. Next, I want to relate or I want to make you relate the symptoms and the diseases or the disease of schizophrenia, and to identify the main causes of the disease, and in brief idea I want to give you regarding its management, and lastly I want to make you understand about the various risk factor which is associated with this disease schizophrenia. Now let us see that what is the definition or what is exactly the disease that is schizophrenia. Now it is a chronic psychiatric disorder with a heterogeneous genetic and neurobiological background that influences early brain development and is expressed as a combination of psychotic symptoms such as hallucinations, delusions and disorganization, and sometimes motivational and cognitive dysfunctions. Now it's a very big you can say the definition which is given by the WHO. So in short I can say that this is basically a psychiatric disease which arises due to the differences, or you can say in some problem in the nervous system, and basically it is having a genetic factor also. That means the parents who have the same disease, this disease can be carried to the children also, and sometimes it associated with the combination of different psychotic symptoms like hallucinations or delusions or disorganization, and sometimes it is having the loss of the cognitive or motivational skills also. Now here I have kept three figures. As you can see, the first figure, it depicts the hallucination, like we are able to see that in this figure this is a GIF, or I can say this figure is in the motion, but exactly it's not like that. It's a constant figure which itself it shows that it is in the constant motion. So sometimes the patients who are suffering from the schizophrenia, they feel that this figure like things they it's coming to them or it is impacting them, so that they get excited and they show the there are some symptoms which is just shown. Now second one is this figure which I have placed here. Here you can see that the girl, she is in the perfect black outfit, and she thinks at one moment that she is very fine, she is looking very beautiful, but in the second moment she is thinking that she is wearing three shades of black. So she gets nervous or she gets panicked that how the other people will be taking her. Now these are the some of the basic symptoms which is associated with the disease that is a schizophrenia. Now, if you talk about the prevalence of this disease, we can say that it is a chronic and severe mental disorder which generally which has till now affected more than 20 million people worldwide. Now, if you consider this schizophrenia, it is associated with considerable disability and sometimes the educational and occupational performance also. Like if this disease attacks a child at the very early stage, then there is seen that the educational skills which should develop in the child, it is hampered, and sometimes it if it gets to the person who is at the latter age, like more than 30 years of age, then there is some of the occupational hindrance which a patient feels, and the people with schizophrenia are 2 to 3 times more likely to die early than the general population. Now this is a concept which is related like their life risk due to the falling down or due to harming themselves, so they have more chances of the death as compared to the normal person. Now yeah, this is a table which is taken from the NMHS, that is a portal which comprises of the mental health status of India. Now you can see here the different kinds of schizophrenia has been studied and different states has been studied, and we can see that substance use disorder like the schizophrenia which is caused by the substance use thing, it is mainly in the Rajasthan and in the Madhya Pradesh. Now, if you talk about the schizophrenia which is associated with other psychotic disorders, now you can see here the highest rate of patients are in the West Bengal, followed by the Manipur and for these two states only. Now, if we talk about the neurotic and stress related schizophrenia, you can see that many states have the same thing. Let it be Jharkhand or Kerala or Manipur or Rajasthan or Punjab, West Bengal, etc. And lastly, the mood disorder which is related to the schizophrenia, there's states like the Jharkhand or the Manipur, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh. So basically, we can say that these three factors, like the substance use disorder, next is the neurotic or stress related disorder, and the mood disorders, these three contribute to the disease that is called as the schizophrenia. Now, if we see the prevalence of the schizophrenia in the age wise, like at what age or what stage the patient develops the symptoms or is at the higher risk, you can see till the age of 45 to 49, or you can say up to 55 years of age, the female are at the risk of the schizophrenia as compared to the men. But when the age of the men crosses 55 or 54 years of age, then they are at the higher risk of developing of this disorder. Now, if we talk about the world population, generally it has affected till now 1.1% of the world population, and 3.5 million Americans have suffering from this disorder, that is the schizophrenia. Some may be diagnosed, some are not diagnosed, but the people, they are living with the disease, that is the schizophrenia. And the commonly age, or you can say the common age in which this disease is diagnosed, is in the age between 16 to 25 years, because at this stage the person enters into lot of hormonal changes, so there is a symptoms are being seen and we can detect the disease at this particular time. So it is hereditary disorder. There are so many research articles which says that it is a hereditary disorder, which means it runs in the family, but there are some articles which says that schizophrenia is not hereditary also. As I told you, it is 1.5 times more commonly in men as compared to the women after the age of 55, and the treatment cost of this disease is too high, that is $32.5 billion to $65 billion. And it's a very important research which has been reported by the National Institute of Mental Health, that one in every 40,000 children, they experience the onset of the schizophrenia at the very tender age, that means below 13 years of the age. Next is, if you talk about the type of the schizophrenia, we are basically having 5 types of schizophrenia. First one is the paranoid, next are disorganized, catatonic, undifferentiated, and the residual schizophrenia. Now let us see one by one what are the types and what are the symptoms of this disease. Coming to the first one, that is the paranoid schizophrenia. This is distinguished by the paranoid behavior including delusions and auditory hallucination. That means the person who is suffering from this disease, they will be having stomach upset, along with that they will be having auditory, they will think that they are hearing something unusual or different sounds they are hearing, but actually the sounds are not produced. It is inside them, it is in their psychological disorder that they are hearing some of the auditory sounds or the sounds which they feel as the hallucinating sounds. And they develop some paranoid behavior, like feeling a persecution of watch, like if somebody is watching me. Sometimes the behavior associated, mainly this type of disease associated with the very famous persons, like who have the fear that they are being watched, or they may be in the problem if they do this. So those persons who are always very alert due to their profession or due to their fame, they face this type of schizophrenia. Now, people with paranoid type of schizophrenia, they generally develop some symptoms like display anger. Like immediately they get angry, and that angerness is displayed on their face and with their behavior. Or sometimes they display the anxiety and hostility also. The person usually has relatively normal intellectual functioning, and there is no problem with the expression of the affect also. Now, the next kind of schizophrenia is a disorganized schizophrenia. A person with this type of schizophrenia exhibits disorganization or disorganized behavior, like speech that may be bizarre, he is unable to speak or difficult to understand what he is speaking. They may display some inappropriate emotions or reactions that do not related to the situation at the hand. That means we are talking about a topic, and immediately the person having this disorganized schizophrenia, he comments something which is not related to the particular topic. So daily activities such as hygiene, eating and working, they may or may not be disrupted, or sometimes they are neglected by this type of the disorganized thought patterns. The third type of schizophrenia is the catatonic schizophrenia, and in this schizophrenia, disturbance of the movement mark catatonic types of symptoms. Like people with this type of schizophrenia may vary between extremes. They may remain immobile or may move all over the place. That means at some point of time they may be very silent, they may be sitting idle, but after 2 to 3 minutes they will start walking and they will not stop their walking, or they may be doing some work, indulging in some work. Like there's episodic time between the immobility and doing excessive work, and they may say nothing for the hours, or they may be doing some things for long hours also. These behaviors put these people with catatonic type schizophrenia at high risk, because they often are unable to take care of themselves, or don't understand that what they are doing. So the people with catatonic schizophrenia are at the higher risk of losing their life. Next is the undifferentiated schizophrenia. Now, this type of schizophrenia is classification because when a person exhibits a behavior which does not fit to any of the types of the schizophrenia, the symptoms may be delusions or hallucination, disorganized speech, behavior, or the catatonic behavior also. Next is the residual schizophrenia, when a person has a past history of at least one attack, and this after that attack there is no symptoms, but he can develop the symptoms, or he can develop the attack at the latter stage, like delusions or hallucination or disorganized speech or behavior. Then the persons fall under the category of the residual schizophrenia. The person may be in complete remission state, or maybe at some point resume this type of the symptoms. Now, the schizophrenia in children is slightly different from that of the adults. In case of the children, the symptoms like delusions will be there, hallucination will be there, paucity of speech or thought will be there. Like you are talking to the child, but the child is not responding, he is not listening, and after 2 or 3 minutes, he comes back to you and he asks that, mom, what you told, or dad, what you told, I didn't understand. And there may be some disorganized thinking, like you're teaching something to the child, but he is thinking something different and doing something different. He is in front of you, or she's in front of you, but his mind is working somewhere. There's some bizarre behaviors, like unwanted behaviors he will be doing, and there's a flat effect also, like unable to understand the situation, or unable to understand what we are saying to him. Now, if you talk about the causes of the schizophrenia, basically scientists believe that it runs in the families, and many environmental factors like viruses or malnutrition before the birth, like problems during the birth, or some psychosocial factors, they affect this schizophrenia. Scientists also believe that the persons who are suffering from this type of disorder like schizophrenia, they have a different brain structure which is different from the healthy people. Now, the fluid filled cavities at the center of the brain, which is called as the ventricle, it is larger in case of the people who are suffering from this disease, that is the schizophrenia. Most people identified with schizophrenia have increased in dopamine levels, but till now there is no scientific proof that why the dopamine level is elevated. Next is the symptoms. Now, I have kept here a figure which shows you the important symptoms of the schizophrenia, like delusions, hallucinations, trouble sleeping. Like you may sleep for more hours, or you don't have sleep for 30 minutes or 50 minutes also. Lack of motivation, like you feel that nothing is left in me, I can't do anything, so you don't have a motivation. Irritability, you get irritated with the small things which is happening into day to day life. And moodiness, like now you're in a very good mood, at the second stage you will be like in the very depressive mood or very anxiety mood. So these are the main symptoms of this schizophrenia. Along with this, there are other associated symptoms also, like social withdrawal, anxiety, like paranoid feeling, like feeling of losing something, loss of appetite, or neglecting to eat, and loss of the hygiene also. Now, if you talk about the diagnosis, Now I can be very clear that till now there is no biomarker which is made or which can diagnose this disease. But the doctor will talk to you and they will try to find out that do you have any symptoms of this disease. They will try to track that do you have delusions, hallucination, disorganized speech or behavior, or there is any negative symptom which is associated with this, at least for a period of 6 months. The doctor may use some physical examination or psychological evaluation or like your MRI to scan your brain and to find out that is there any kind of change in the anatomy of your brains also. But till now there is no biomarker which can tell 100% that you're suffering from the disease, that's a schizophrenia. Coming to the treatment, there are some medications which can be used for the treatment of the schizophrenia, like antipsychotic medications, mood stabilizers and the antidepressants. I have given here some of the medicines of these classes which can be used along with their brand name, which is generally used for the treating of this disorder. Coming to this psychosocial interventions, like how this psychosocial treatment is beneficial for this type of the people. So we have basically 5 line of treatment, 5 line of psychosocial interventions, like family psychoeducation, like including the family members to support the patient. If any patient is having or suffering from the schizophrenia, you can counsel their family members that what is the patient's problem and how the family relation can be used to improve the love and the support for this patient. Next is the substance abuse treatment. Many people with schizophrenia also have substance abuse issues, like they are taking some substances, any kind of like nicotine or tobacco, which is relating to the schizophrenia. So we need to better make some outcomes or make the patient understand this using of these substances can lead to the severity of this disorder. Next is the cognitive behavioral therapy. In short, it is called the CBT. It can help the patient test the reality of their thoughts to identify the hallucination or the voices and ignore them. That means the persons who are having the feeling of hallucinating or auditory hallucination, they undergo this type of the treatment. This type of therapy may not work in actively psychotic patients, but it can help others who have residual symptoms, like if you had the attack of the schizophrenia but right now you don't have any symptoms, but it can definitely prevent you to get the second attack of the schizophrenia. Next is the social skill training. The patients with schizophrenia may need to relearn how to appropriately interact in the social situations, because many times we see that there is a social withdrawal, like if the person suffering from schizophrenia, he may withdraw himself from the society. So in that case we need to train them that how you need to mingle with the people, mingle with the society, so that you can be into the relationship, you can improve your relationship. Next is the assertive community treatment, in short called as the ACT. This is support teams are there which comprises of the psychiatrists, nurses, sometimes some case managers also, and the counselors also, who meet regularly with the people suffering from this disease, and they talk to the people, they make them understand the situation, they themselves understand the patient, so that the hospitalization is generally declined or decreased. So in the conclusion part, I can say that it's a complex and the chronic mental health disorder which is characteristic by the different array of the symptoms like delusions, hallucination, disorganized behavior, etc. Although the patients can increase adaptive functioning through available pharmacological and non-pharmacological treatment option, but it is hoped that future research will be there which will address the gap in between the treatment and potential cure of the schizophrenia. So at this point of time, I cannot say that schizophrenia is completely curable, but research is going on to find out that is there any medication or any therapy which can stop this disease, or which can stop the prevalence of this disease. Like a patient who has the attack before 20 years, he will not get that attack after, further in his life. We cannot assure it. So the research is going on to develop those kind of therapies which will assure the treatment of this type of the people. So I have taken this total presentation from this journals, or you can say from this review articles. So if you have any doubt, you can go through these articles. Further, if you have any understanding problem with my presentation, you can drop a email to these email IDs mentioned here, or you can drop some comments in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel, that is the Edu Knowledge Hub. I will be coming with more videos. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you. Bye bye.